Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to approach an individual who is a native speaker of a tongue that is not your mother tongue and elicit a normal, natural response without shock, adulation, or any other unnatural reaction. Should you or your glottis fail in this mission, you may go back to making White Guy Shocks Local YouTube videos. I've been doing a little bit of introspection, and there's been a common theme through my clips recently, whether it was my clip yesterday on how languages took me into the people smuggling underworld. If you haven't seen that, check that out. Or it was the clip where I guess I just called it out. Asian chick orders hamburger in perfect English, shocks McDonald's employees. And these other clips, and I think my point was, for example, you take the people smuggling clip. If I had have spoken the local language to the people on the ground in a way that shocked them, I could have ended up dead or in prison or in some other circumstance that I really didn't want to be in. And so I thought this would actually be a really cool mission. Rather than doing clips that go out there and shock locals, how about we look for some clips and share them back with me? I really want to see them, of you going out and using language in the street in a way that elicits zero response from native speakers. And you could do this in a number of ways, but I'm actually going to tell you how to do it in this clip. So you've got to watch it to the end because I'm going to give you the tools in actually how to go about this. Now, some people might be saying, well, wait a minute, if I actually speak and they come speaking back to me blah, 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 in their native tongue and I don't understand, well, what good is that? Well, you've actually achieved one of the most difficult things in learning a language, and you'll find that as they speak back to you, then your language is going to level up and pitch up, pitch up, pitch up. So this is a good thing. So how do we do it? Well, I'll give you a few steps, but the first thing, like any mission, and your tradecraft needs to be on point, and you need to do reconnaissance. And so what I've found are the things that will get somebody to respond naturally to you in their local language. So if I'm going to the 7-Eleven or I'm going down and buying some food on the street or buying a pair of shoes, for those people to respond naturally to me, they need to perceive or not perceive that I'm foreign. And so the way to do that is to send little meta signals. And the only way that you're going to know those meta signals is to do reconnaissance. This is the first stage of any mission. So for example, you're going to be ordering a McDonald's. That's not so crazy theme if you're going to order a hamburger at McDonald's if you don't live in the West. You want to sit and observe, well, how do native speakers order McDonald's? Because you'll find in, say, ordering food, you're not going to be using the language that you learned from the textbooks or that your teacher told you, I will have one hamburger, I will have Coke, less ice. They don't say it like that. So for example, if you're in Cantonese and you wanted to say add some ice, you wouldn't say add some ice. You could say it literally, but in Cantonese they just say throw some snow in it. So you want to observe during this reconnaissance phase of what the locals, what the native speakers actually say, how they use the language. So it might mean sitting at McDonald's for a couple of hours a day for a couple of days, just to sit and examine this. Walk into the local convenience stores, if you're actually in the countries that speak these languages, and see how people order things, not how you would order things. So this is the first step, reconnaissance. The second step is setting the scene. So even though it might look like just a normal scene to you, you actually want to make sure that everything is in your favor, that you will not fail in this mission. And so if your tradecraft is on point, you will, before performing this mission, do an SDR. That is a surveillance detection route. That means that you will check that everything is in order before you go there. You want to make sure that you're not going to have some guy walk up to you in the middle of this interaction, go, hey, Stu, how's it going, mate? Buddy, oh, come over here. Oh, have you met Stewie? He speaks your lingo. You don't want anything like that to happen while you're in the middle of this, because as soon as somebody sees that, your cover is blown. And so you want to make sure that you're going to have no disruptions, and you've set the environment up for them not to be shocked at your presence. That is actually very, very important. The next thing is you're going to have to be able to send subliminal, subconscious messages to them before you even interact with them. So if I walk into a 7-Eleven, 7-Elevens are used all the time in Thailand because they're everywhere. 7-Eleven is life over here. So if I walked into a 7-Eleven that I hadn't been in before, and I didn't want her to give me the foreigner treatment, maybe when I walked up to the counter, I'd just say something like, "ไม่ต้องใส่ถุงนะน้อง." You don't need to put it in a plastic bag, which is happening less and less now because now they don't generally give plastic bags. But you would just throw something like that. If I was on the street in Thai, I would say, "เป็นร้อยมีทอนไหม?" Or another one that you might use is, "อันนี้ยังเป็นโปรอยู่ไหม?" So that literally means, is the promotion still on for this? So you've got to be careful because depending on where you are and where you're going to be performing this, the promotions even might use different terms. You might have a midnight sale or a promotion, a pro, or you might be using tam, which in Thai would be the points that you have on your card or the stamps that you collect. So depending on what that is, your surveillance in the beginning, doing your reconnaissance, you would have picked up what language is actually used. And so you want to put that language back to them subconsciously before they even know to respond to you. And when they do respond, they'll respond much more naturally to you. Now, there's another thing that you may have noticed in there, and especially in languages across Asia, is the use of the correct pronouns. And so, for example, again, I'll use Thai. Maybe they would say, ผมอยากซื้ออันนี้ครับ I want to buy this. And the fact that they use the word pum and the way that they structured it is just saying foreigner, 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 foreigner. And so if you were actually using the pronouns in the correct prosody, ไม่ต้องใส่ถุงนะน้อง you don't need to put this in a plastic bag. Nong. Now, nong is the term used for a younger brother or sister, but in Thai, it's the normal term that you would use in speaking to somebody referring to you for somebody who's younger than you. And especially if they're in service to you. And the way nong, though it just flows with the prosody, it feels natural. And so these are the tells that are going to either make it work or break your cover. And so the last thing that I want to mention is prosody. So the prosody is the natural rhythm of the language. And you'll notice in what I just said then, ไม่ต้องใส่ถุงนะน้อง the prosody is just flowing normally. If somebody heard that, they think, oh, okay, this guy is one of us, he's going to speak. Supposing you're in Indonesia, just the prosody of even what's your name? Siapa namamu. If you say that, people are going to know, oh, this guy's probably learnt in year 7 Indonesian class in Australia. But the way that Indonesians would even say, like, what's your name? Namanya siapa ya? What's your name? Namanya siapa ya? So you can hear namanya siapa ya, but even if you get the words right, the rhythm has to be right as well. So you need to note the correct prosody and practice getting that into your muscles. That all happens again from reconnaissance. If you don't do your reconnaissance first, you're not going to be able to get your prosody correct. So I'd really like to challenge you. If you're really interested in speaking the language properly, to a level that actually sounds natural and doesn't get shock reaction from natives, well, first of all, come into Minecraft because you get all of tradecraft that you need, from language to actually other meta skills, so you can pull the language from your environment. So you can actually go up there and scan the QR code and come in and join our group and join the Minecraft program as well, because we have a load of fun. We've got hundreds of people in there that all have this same goal. So the only way to really get my message out is to play the game. And so I've been putting YouTube clips out and trying to speak to these because I really want to get this message out and help people achieve a really, really good level in language. Don't just think that you need to be asking John and Mary what time the train's coming. You can actually speak the language the way that locals speak. It doesn't have to be perfection, but just with natural rhythms, so that you have such a rich experience in the language, and you might find new doors opening up to you, even career doors. So let me know how you went. Record your clips and share them back with me. I'd love to see them. Come into the Minecraft Discord server, continue the dialogue on there, and I'll see you on the other side. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to approach an individual who is a native speaker of a tongue that is not your mother tongue and elicit a normal, natural response without shock, adulation, or any other unnatural reaction. Should you or your glottis fail in this mission, you may go back to making White Guy Shocks Local YouTube videos.